What's going on, gearheads? Welcome back to the channel, and today is the day we're finally going to kick off the Gentleman Z06 build project. We're going to get our last startup, our last cold start with the current car setup, get it from over here, move it over into the lift bay, and get diving into this project. Alright, got a little excited, a little overzealous, got started without you guys, forgot to set the camera up on the tripod and all that when we got started, but car's up on the lift, dump the oil, dump the coolant, get you caught up to speed right now. Let me show you where we're at with everything. So, pulled the two dry sump lines off, both plugs out, dumped all the oil, so that's all set. Just put some blue shop towels in here just to keep it from dripping all over the garage floor while we get this all apart. Bucket hanging, this is a custom little setup, caliper, hook, and then right up here you can see there's your petcock for your drain. It just comes out right there, so we got a little coolant there. We'll have to drain some more out. Next thing I want to do is just get the exhaust loosened up, so basically pop these two clamps free here, and then I probably got to put some slack in my O2 sensors, because basically I want to allow the headers to fall out, and then that should give me clearance with the heads, getting the heads off. If that doesn't work, then we'll likely have to pull the headers out, and that's kind of why I preemptively pulled these dry sump lines and everything out of the way, because I kind of think that's what's going to have to happen anyway. I want to get the first steps done under the car, and then I could drop the car down, not have to worry about putting it up in the air. So let's break those clamps loose free quick, and then we'll lower the car down, get started under the hood. couldn't come work on a C6 and not have to do that part of the project. It's like a rite of passage almost. And then we're gonna, I guess, try to do it a different way, but like pulling the steering rack out is probably another one. That is. Ugh.
We don't have to pull the steering rack out.
I'm hoping not. I'm gonna go with the drop the cradle and lift the motor up technique and hope that works. All right, kicking off day 2 on the project. It's early Sunday morning. Just diving back into this. Last Saturday, I spent about 2.5 hours undoing all the accessories, intake manifold, top accessories. Basically got to the point where we're ready to pull the heads off. And then that's kind of the last time I touched the car. So now fast forward, it's the following weekend. Gonna dive back into it early this morning. Woke up early so I could get a jump start on the car before, kind of family time and other stuff takes over. So spent a couple hours this morning working on it. Where I left off last time, had a little bit of a difficult time getting the radiator and condenser separated, be able to pick the radiator out and leave the condenser in place and not have to touch the Freon or the air conditioning system, kind of maintain that intact. One less step when we're putting the car back together that we got to address. But I was just hitting my head against the wall trying to get those little tabs and clips to get it up and separate. So just kind of threw in the towel on that. So let's take a trip over the car. I'll show you guys where we're at. So let me take you on a quick little field trip. I'll flip the light on first. It's probably even going to be extremely hard to see here on the camera, but if you've worked on these cars before, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But here's a sample. Let's just look at the upper one. See this little tab here? And well, that's the tab, and I guess that's kind of the hook. That tab for the condenser sits in this hook, and that holds this whole thing together. So imagine this same identical thing, but all the way down here. And if you could see that hard lined aluminum fitting there, that comes out and basically doesn't allow the condenser to come up and clear that hook, that little tab. So that's where I'm stuck at right now, and trying to avoid breaking anything, snapping anything off. So I think we're at the point now though that we basically got to do something with that tab. So the last time I did this, I basically took from here all the way here and just took this whole thing out as one assembly, because you can see the whole thing is pretty much loose aside from undoing a couple bolts and screws and stuff that hold the shroud in. And you can see on this side we're able to separate both the upper and the lower out. So what I've been trying to do is kind of just pull up on this side and see if I could wiggle that thing free over there, but just can't seem to get it out of that tab. And I don't really remember how we did this on the black C6D. So get my butt whipped on this radiator. I don't know. Somebody in the comments hopefully give me a trick or something, but I can't figure out how to separate it with the air conditioning lines connected to the condenser. It looks like from the factory that when that stuff's not connected, the lines, all these would just slide together. You lock in the tabs, you're done. But pulling this apart with it all attached, I just don't see how it's possible without breaking one of those clips off or something. So I think we're just going to switch gears to keep the motivation up, keep the spirits high. So we're going to shift over to pulling the heads off, and then I'll circle back on the radiator condenser area, evacuate the system out, just take the whole thing out in one shot and be done with it. I mean, I could sit here probably for another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, fiddling with this thing, get nowhere. Just a waste of time at this point. I know how to take it apart the other way, so I'll just go and do that.
We got it.
Alright, we got the tab unhooked. Little pry bar between corner of the condenser and where the tab is. Pushed it over and then it kind of unhooked on me. So should be able to lift this out now, I think. This will be a lot easier with another set of pants. Oh. Oh. There we go. Whew. All right. All right, guys, we're going to close out part one of the gentleman's build here. I think we're at a good stopping point, that radiator separation. Big win. Super stoked. Got that. That was a headache. Anyway, hey guys, got the heads here. So this will probably be the next video in the series. Doing a teardown inspection of the heads. I'm going to basically disassemble the valves, springs. We're going to do the guide check. I also want to check contact on the seat to the valve disc, make sure everything's sealing good. So I'm going to make up like a little vacuum port tester to pull vacuum on each port and make sure the valve is sealing properly. And basically here's where we're at with this. So next up is either going to be the rack getting pulled, or we're going to do the lift the engine up, drop the cradle method to get to the balancer. I'll see how we're feeling when the time comes for that. And then over here we got all our valve train laid out, lifters, rockers, push rods, all that good stuff. More parts over here and more parts over here. Got everything all bagged and tagged, so that should make for easier assembly. So yeah, guys, that'll wrap up part one of the gentleman's build. So stay tuned for part two. Got some exciting stuff coming up on the channel, so we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.